The final debate over.
Now the decision is up to you.
But who got the last word?
We have some bad hombres here.
He'd rather have a puppet as president.
Fox 5 News is live at Thomas and Mack, where the buzz is still going from big-name supporters.
I wish more people could really be that engaged.
And the undecided.
I think it depends on your views.
Fox 5 News special debate night coverage starts now.
This is it. The third and final presidential debate is in the books. We are now 20 days away from Election Day. I'm Christine Medella.
And I'm John Hook. We are coming to you live from the Spin Room, otherwise known as the Cox Pavilion, where we, along with many of you, I'm sure, watch the final debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton tonight.
And Fox 5 has you covered tonight from inside the event, outside protesters, and what it means for the voters.
And on stage tonight, the candidates went at it, sometimes going all in, attacking each other on a variety of issues. One big point that Hillary Clinton made was on Donald Trump's claims that this election was rigged.
That is not the way our democracy works. We've been around for 240 years. We've had free and fair elections. We've accepted the outcomes when we may not have liked them. And that is what must be expected of anyone standing on a debate stage during a general election.
Donald Trump was not about to back down, even in the face of controversy surrounding recent claims from women saying he assaulted those women.
Those stories are all totally false. I have to say that. And I didn't even apologize to my wife, who's sitting right here, because I didn't do anything. I didn't know any of these women. I didn't see these women. These women, the woman on the plane, the woman, I think they want either fame or her campaign did it.
And right after the debate, it was a madhouse here in the Spin Room with dozens of supporters of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton coming in here to meet with the reporters. And our own Fox 5's Kevin Bollinger was on the front lines. He joins us live now. Kevin.
John, what a difference an hour makes, huh? Because an hour ago, this was pandemonium in this area that I'm standing now. But as you can see, things have started to calm down here. Those reporters from the East Coast have gotten everything done that they need to do. They've already hit the strip to go have some fun. The left coasters are here still working on their stories. And then you actually have European broadcasters that are doing their morning show live shots. But it was a totally different scene just after the debate. Take a look at this video of the madhouse in the Spin area right after things got done. Media from around the world, 3 deep, shoving, shouting, and positioning themselves for the pundits. We were able to go one-on-one with Donald Trump Jr. and the Reverend Jesse Jackson, who obviously had 2 different viewpoints of this debate. Reverend Jackson still fuming about Trump's refusal to accept the election results, while Trump was wondering why his dad deals with trade and NATO and all of his ideas are now being accepted worldwide. Take a listen.
Why is the businessman from New York, who's never had a political career, why is he the one bringing up these things, and all of a sudden everyone's shifting? It's time to bring new thought to this. Someone who's actually created jobs will do a better job creating jobs, not someone who talks about it like it's this magical unicorn that you could summon at will.
Trump is willing to risk the stability of our outcome and not accept it, and not accept the election vote. If he doesn't win, it's rigged. If he wins, it's a good thing. He's laid the groundwork for a Trump America First party. He wants to form a Trump America First third party and have his own TV network, maintain his own campaign beyond the election.
Well, that last part, what Jackson was referencing in terms of not recognizing the results until they happen. You heard Hillary Clinton talk about that in debate. That seemed to dominate the Spin Room. Other issues got lost in the shuffle, and that irked a lot of people with the Trump campaign, who says that people should be talking more about the issues and not the stuff that's maybe a little bit more frivolous in their minds, because they think that, once again, things are getting overlooked. The Clinton people are saying, you know what, this is just the perfect example of what we've seen from the Trump campaign all along. So lots of different spinning going on in the Spin Room, but it was one crazy heck of a night out here inside the Cox Pavilion. Let's send it back to you guys.
Just as quickly as the chaos spread into the spin room, it left as well as soon as the debate was over and everyone had said their piece.
They have to get to their next campaign stop. A friend of mine who's following Trump for CNN says, I have to go to Ohio tonight for the next campaign event tomorrow. But even though they've moved on, the circus has moved on, a lot of the protesters, well, some of them at least, still remain at this late hour, even though it was a hectic scene out there outside the T&M tonight. Fox 5's Miguel Martinez-Valle joins us live outside the T&M now. Some of those folks who are still out there chanting away. Miguel.
Well, John, it seems like the protesters might have actually been out here protesting the media more than they were actually talking about any debate issues, because as soon as CNN kind of finished their set tonight, they started leaving. But it was mostly only Trump protesters left anyway. You can see some of their signs still here. There was maybe 30 people left when I came over here from that spin room a little bit, maybe an hour ago when I got here. 30 to 50 people at the most. Now I only see a few stragglers that stayed behind. But what they were talking about, they were protesting and shouting about perceived election bias and election fraud, both things that Donald Trump actually brought up in the debate tonight. So while I was in the media room when the debate gave out, I talked to Dr. Ben Carson, who's been defending Donald Trump ever since dropping out of the primaries, and I asked him if Donald Trump's answer about whether or not he would accept the outcome of the election troubled him. Here's what he had to say.
No, that doesn't trouble me at all. He didn't say that he wouldn't accept it, but he says, let's evaluate the situation. If it turns out that there's evidence of significant irregularities, I think it should be questioned. I don't think it should be accepted hook, line, and sinker.
And while he said those comments didn't surprise or didn't trouble him, a lot of people that I spoke to today, they were saying, you know, and it's been commonly said before, some of those comments, they come off troubling to some because, you know, it's the democracy in our country. But apparently for Dr. Carson, that was not a big issue. And for a lot of the protesters out here that just left, you know, it wasn't too much of an issue either, because they were still out here, you know, saying their support for Trump. Miguel Martinez-Valle, Fox 5 News, local, Las Vegas.
Very good, Miguel. Thank you. We interviewed Rudy Giuliani on Facebook Live earlier tonight, and we asked him directly, would you contest those results too? And he said, look, if it's 2 million votes, no, the election's done. If it's 2,000, that's a different story. So this is going to be a narrative that plays out during the campaign.
And every 4 years, whenever there is a presidential election, celebrities, many of them come forward to throw their support behind their favorite candidate. And Las Vegas is no exception. Some famous faces came out today and shared their opinion with Fox 5.
Oh my God, that was so entertaining. It was. I learned a lot actually too, because you know when you're sitting there, you're so engaged.
I thought it was an interesting thing. I think there are two distinct ways to run the country.
You have to dig deep into your conscience and your soul, and decide, okay, which one of these two people do I vote for?
Some other famous folks who watched the debate here at UNLV, Ted Danson and his wife, Emmett Smith, and Mark Cuban. Well, you may remember he hasn't been famous for very long, but his red sweater has a lot to do with his fame.
He is very famous now, isn't he? Ken Bone. You might remember him from the St. Louis debate. So it only makes sense that he was here in Las Vegas. He was an instant hit when he got up and asked his question. Fox 5's Kathleen Jacob caught up with Mr. Bone. She joins us live now with what he had to say about tonight's debate. Kathleen?
Yeah, guys, he was at the watch party, but he wasn't wearing the red sweater during the watch party, so I think it kind of threw everyone off. He was in disguise, if you will, but he stuck around. He was on Jimmy Kimmel a little bit earlier tonight. He actually just left the area, but not before we talked to him, and he told us that, one, this Las Vegas is not sweater weather, since we're in a desert, and two, he is still undecided, but getting closer and closer and closer to coming up with a decision, but he's not going to say what it is just yet. And he had a lot of fun at the watch party, and he loves UNLV. He loves the students here, and of course we'll give you guys a look at his full interview later on in the show. And that's all for now. Reporting live, Kathleen Jacob, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
He's wearing his Rebel red.
Yes, UNLV red.
Well, many voters had their minds made up before this, but some were waiting to hear tonight's debate to really make that final decision.
Yeah, Fox 5 gathered a group of voters, 8 people from different backgrounds, undecided voters, in the Fox 5 studio to weigh in and watch the debate with our crew. You'll hear from them when we come back.
Welcome back to the Spin Room here at the Thomas and Mack Cox Pavilion. For a little while tonight, this was the center of the political world. People were just flooding in here right after Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton met on stage for their final debate.
Right, and of course, the debate hall just feet away from here, and about 1,000 people watched the debate live inside that debate hall, many of them excited to experience a part of history, and Fox 5's Eric Hilt caught up with some of those attendees when they made their way out.
Yeah, John, Christine, this is the quietest it has been all day out here in front of the Thomas and Mack, but it certainly wasn't the scene a couple hours ago when those 1,200 people who had tickets inside the Thomas and Mack to watch this debate live came pouring out of those doors. We caught up with some of them, some of the locals who were in attendance, and of course, a lot of them had differing opinions on who won that debate, but they all agreed that this was a historic moment for Las Vegas, and they were happy to be a part of it.
Well, I thought it was an incredible experience. This is the first time that I've actually done a presidential debate. We've done a lot of primaries and things like that, but I think it's just an amazing experience and a great thing for me and my wife to experience here in Vegas.
I was able to focus, let me say that, on what was being said so that I could really internalize. As opposed to seeing it on TV, you know, you have a lot of distractions.
There's certainly a lot of reactions out here after that debate, but also a lot of reactions in the spin room, so we'll send it back there to John and Christine.
All right, Eric, thank you. Let's head back inside to the Fox 5 studio right now, where Fox 5's Cindy Lundenberg spoke and watched the debate with some undecided voters. She has a panel of 8 undecided voters in there right now. Let's check in with them.
Hi, Christine. Yes, so today we gathered quite a diverse group of people who were previously undecided heading into tonight's debate. So we followed them before, during, and after, and many of them actually changed their minds after the debate. Take a look. So we are here with our focus group right now. So guys, just to kind of go back to where we were before the debate, raise your hand if you supported Trump prior to watching the debate. I believe it was 2 of you, correct? Or 2 were leaning? Yeah. Yes? Leaning, okay. So raise your hand if you were leaning Clinton before the debate. Okay, so now after the debate, raise your hand if you are leaning Trump. Yes, if you're definitely Trump. Okay, so 3. Now raise your hand if you are leaning Clinton. Okay, are you undecided?
I'll vote none of the above.
You're voting none of the above, just maybe voting down ballot. Yeah, okay. The debate started talking about the Supreme Court. So who do you believe, we'll start with you, who do you think won that portion of the debate and why?
I think it depends on your views, and I support Roe versus Wade, and I don't think it should be overturned. So, of course, I agreed with Clinton.
No, if you want to answer that, yeah, you want to respond?
Just leave Roe versus Wade alone. If you don't want an abortion, don't get one.
Okay, if you want to hand that up there.
I think that is the single most important issue in this election. And the reason why I say that is because an average Supreme Court justice will be on the bench for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. So that's a long time to influence how the Constitution is going to be interpreted.
But you need to follow the constitutional process, and you have obstructionism in the Republican Party, and you have a justice nominee, and you're not bringing him to due process. So the whole argument's null and void.
I think that it's important also to address the question of immigration. They had quite a to and fro on the immigration issue as to who believed in what. Did you get any sense that there was a difference in their policies that made it possible to tell who would do what and who wouldn't do what?
Yes. Let's pass that down.
Absolutely. I think Clinton made it very clear that she is going to approach it from a perspective that won't create more enemies and more hardships for families. And anywhere we leave destruction in our wake as Americans, we're going to have dire consequences. Tearing apart families, trying to raid homes to find people, there will be negative consequences. She had a much more reasonable approach.
Okay, before we do that, we have about a minute left with you guys, so if you want to hand me that. I want to hear from someone that changed their mind, and tell me quickly why you changed your mind. I'm looking at you.
I think I'm the only one who actually changed my mind. Like I mentioned, it's just I am very biased because my husband is active duty military, and hearing Trump be in such support of the military and how he wants to fix something that is broken really resonated with me. And there is a problem. Our veterans are not being taken care of. There are more than enough homeless veterans on the street right now, and he sounds like he's going to do something about it, so I'm hoping and I'm optimistic that something will be done. And
we had another thought
like
here.
All right. We are out of time for right now, but we're going to hear more from our focus group at 11 o'clock.
Now, Fox 5 weather 24/7 with Chief Meteorologist Ted Pretty.
Well, one thing we could all agree on, those winds, no fun. Now, we saw those breezes out of the north today, 15, 20 miles an hour, nowhere near as strong as what we saw this past weekend with gusts of 40 miles an hour and higher. Tomorrow, we'll still see some of those light north breezes on your Thursday, only to about 10, maybe 15 miles an hour. That's it. Increasing weekend heat. That's the big story the next few days. And slight shower chances pop up for late on your Sunday and early on your Monday, but in the slight category. 70 degrees after the daytime high today. It's 78 degrees, 1 degree below where we should be for this time of the year. Clear skies, north-northeast breeze just at 8 miles an hour right now. So clear. We'll see northeast breezes to 15 miles an hour potentially overnight. A chilly 59 degrees to start, especially chilly if we get any of that air movement out there at all tomorrow morning. We should around the 10-mile-an-hour range. 83 degrees the high tomorrow, so we're slowly warming up tomorrow with 83 degrees, that average high at 79. Until midnight, we still have that wind advisory through the Lake Mead area, the Colorado River corridor, all the way south through Lake Havasu City tonight until midnight. But more wind on the way for that area to 40 miles an hour again on your Thursday, 25 miles an hour on your Friday, with that wind advisory possibly extended. So we're on the front edge of area of high pressure that's moving through, but that is overhead for us. Once we get into tomorrow and the next few days, we expect warmer conditions, less wind, clear skies for us as we head into the first half of your weekend. Take a look at your bulge of the 7-day forecast. 86 degrees, 88, then 86 again for your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Some changes as we drop down to 80 degrees as we head into the tail end of your weekend and the first half of next week. And we'll talk more about those changes ahead coming up next time around. But 83 degrees tomorrow, and then a warm up to 88 degrees on Saturday, 4 degrees shy of a record high that day. Slight chances of showers by the end of the weekend and your Monday, at least the first half of Monday. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right around 80 degrees. Average high for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 77 degrees, and 76 for your Wednesday. So closer to where we should be for this time of the year after that warm up. Let's head back out to the Thomas and Mack now with John and Christine.
All right, Ted, thank you. So, of course, all eyes here on Las Vegas and UNLV. It was not only the center of activity in Las Vegas, but really, like you said, the political world.
Yeah, we had media from all over the world. We had CNN, Fox here, of course, MSNBC. We had politicians of all stripes here spinning for their candidates. If you were here at just as the debate was letting out, it was a madhouse. I went over and tried to get Rudy Giuliani on Facebook Live, and he was just surrounded by people, and you could tell it was people from all around the world. And it's so funny to hear what they want to know from Rudy Giuliani versus what we want to know. Just the perspectives that journalists from outside the country bring to their job versus what American journalists bring to theirs.
And, of course, there is other headlines making news today as well. So Fox 5 has team coverage of the debate, and we also have you covered on other news of the day. We'll have much more on that when we come back.
Welcome back. A highway patrol trooper shot a carjacking suspect in Henderson this morning after he led them on a chase from downtown to Henderson. It all started at an AM/PM on Fremont Street. Police tell us the 28-year-old suspect forced a woman out of her Toyota Scion and then took off. He was driving erratically on the 95 and eventually ended on Gibson and American Pacific, where he tried to carjack an elderly couple.
At this point, his car is on rims. He's ran over curbs, he's struck other vehicles, so his car is pretty much done at that point. Runs up to this Cadillac that's got a 90-year-old couple in there, and like I said, violently pulls this man from his vehicle, throws him to the ground, tries to get in.
Police say a struggle ensued, and when the suspect tried to take off in the Cadillac, the trooper fired. The suspect was taken to Sunrise Hospital where he's treated. The elderly man was also treated at the scene. The Southern Nevada Health District is confirming the first flu death of the season. The patient was over 65 years old and had been hospitalized. Last year, 36 people died during flu season in Clark County. Doctors say the best way to prevent the seasonal flu is just to get vaccinated and also constantly wash your hands. Flu season peaks in January and February, so there is still plenty of time to get a flu shot. Let's go right now back live to John and Christine at UNLV with more updates.
All right, Cindy, thank you. An exciting night here at UNLV, the third and final debate 20 days away from Election Day. And the first poll gauging who won tonight came out. It's the CNN ORC poll. Those results show Clinton with 52% of folks polled saying Clinton won the debate. Donald Trump with 39%.
There'll be a flurry of polls coming out tomorrow. We'll see what those show as well. Still ahead, what an exciting night here. I mean, these candidates taking the stage, the thousands of people behind us. Coming up in the next half hour, we'll have more from the chaos inside the spin room and the media circus created by the more than several thousand, 7,000 almost, journalists on hand to cover this third and final debate.
This is Fox 5 News at 10, local, Las Vegas.
Our city is showing off its support tonight and its pride as the city hosted the third and final presidential debate.
In fact, City Hall right there, you can see it live, burning red, white, and blue. That is terrific. The nominees, meanwhile, they made their final case tonight, their closing arguments, as they went head-to-head.
Thank you so much for joining us. We are joining you live with our special coverage of Debate Night 2016. We are live at UNLV inside the Cox Pavilion. This is the Spin Room.
Yep, and we don't have the overnight ratings yet on this debate, but we imagine it's going to be tens of millions of people who tuned in to watch Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton facing off just one final time, trying to make up their own mind. And the candidates really did come out strong tonight, ready to take each other on and plead their case to the voters. And for the last time together before a huge national audience before the election, before they go off in their own separate directions. And one thing was noticeably missing out of the gate: no handshake, either before or after the debate. Both Clinton and Trump are ready to get down to business, tackling tough topics like immigration and abortion.
If you go with what Hillary is saying, in the 9th month, you can take the baby and rip the baby out of the womb of the mother just prior to the birth of the baby. Now, you can say that that's okay, and Hillary can say that that's okay, but it's not okay with me.
This is one of the worst possible choices that any woman and her family has to make. And I do not believe the government should be making it.
And that was actually one of the more sedate parts of the debate, right at the top, before things really started getting chippy between these two.
Right, at parts of the debate, the two candidates and even the moderator, Chris Wallace from Fox News, they were all talking at the same time, and it was difficult to hear and try to make sense of all the commotion. Fox 5's Kevin Bollinger was here in the spin room, watching and listening to the debate here, and then witnessing and being a part and in the middle of all the madness that followed. Kevin.
Well, Christine, John, this debate was a pot of gold for journalists. The only analogy I can think of is, remember those plastic rooms where they would shoot the money up into the air and people would grab as much as they could? That is how much this debate delivered for journalists in terms of excitement and sound bites and little pieces that they can talk about for the next several days. And they're working on that right now. There were more than 5,000 journalists credentialed for this debate. About half of them still here working on their computers if they're print or on the web. And then we also have a lot of European journalists that are here doing their morning shows live from Las Vegas, which is kind of interesting because we did see a major foreign media output here in Las Vegas for this, covering the presidential debates. And that is something that we've seen a little bit of, but I think that the interest is a little bit higher. This type of an election brings in not only the foreign press, it brings out a lot of national press, and it brings out the more unusual press in terms of the entertainment side. You had Extra and Inside Edition and all of those media outlets here as well. So a little bit for everybody, guys, and certainly the candidates delivered with a very interesting and wild debate here over a 90-minute period tonight.
And Kevin, you were talking to a lot of those folks who came out on behalf of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton after the debate. Some of the headlines and some of the common questions that I heard, and I'd like to know if you heard the same, was about Donald Trump saying he would wait to announce if he would concede, if he were the loser in this presidential election. Would he accept the election results like his vice presidential running mate Mike Pence and his daughter and political advisor Ivanka Trump said? And Donald Trump said, I'll leave you in suspense. I won't say that I would accept the election results. Is that what you were hearing as big buzz around the spin room?
That's exactly right, Christine. A lot of people jumped on that and kind of made that the focus of the questions for people around the spin room tonight. That really irked the Trump supporters who were out working for him, saying, look, we want to talk about issues, but then every time one little thing comes up that maybe isn't as big of an issue, that's what you guys decide to jump on. They're flipping it around, saying that the media is looking at the wrong picture. They say they want to talk about the bigger issues about this, but they say that, unfortunately, that's probably what a lot of people are going to walk away with, talking about that, and they're very upset about that.
You know, Kevin, thank you. In many ways, this was the perfect storm. You have this reality show type election going on, and then this reality show comes to Las Vegas. I mean, you have those elements come together, and you can understand why the international media would flock in here, and of course the national media as well, local stations. And more than once, I heard the cliche, what happens in Las Vegas tonight won't stay in Las Vegas. So,
right.
You know, you get the people going for that easy line, that low-hanging fruit. You know, but again, I think you just have that perfect storm where it's just the circus has come to town, and the town happens to be Las Vegas.
And it's the final debate of this election season as well. Well, Fox 5's Eric Hilt talked to some of those lucky few, about 1,200 folks who were inside the debate hall. He talked to them to get their reaction when they came out.
Yeah, after that debate, I talked to those lucky locals who were able to get their hands on tickets to see this presidential debate in person. Like you said, there were about 1,200 people inside the Thomas and Mack watching presidential nominees Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton debate for that last time. And the people I spoke to said it was completely different than watching a debate on TV. One woman said that she was able to really focus on what the candidates were saying. There weren't as many distractions as there are when you're watching at home on TV. Another UNLV student said that it seemed louder in person than it seems on TV. So certainly a lot of differences seeing this in person than watching it at home, and people say that this was an experience that they will never forget.
I've been a resident of Southern Nevada for over 30 years, so this is one of the greatest things that could happen to the state of Nevada, and especially to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
There was an energy, it was the excitement of being there. Yes, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Of course, a lot of the people after the debate had lots of opinions about what was said, about who won the debate. We'll get into that coming up at 11 o'clock. John and Christine?
Eric, thank you very much. What a great opportunity for students to sit in the debate hall and watch this unusual election unfold in this final cliffhanger before we go into the general election. But not everyone was able to get in.
No, but they wanted to be around the environment of the debate, so a lot of them watched from the student union, and Fox 5's Kathleen Jacob was there with them.
Yeah, guys, we're out here, and earlier today, this whole hallway was completely packed with students eager to watch, ready for the debate. There was so much going on behind these doors. Take a look at this video from earlier. You can see every chair is filled with students. We saw a lot of people dressed up in costumes to look like both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. There's tons of decorations. There was lots of food, and it was such an exciting atmosphere, especially since the debate was right here at the school. It seemed like this watch party, compared to the other ones, just had a more of an electric feel than ones in the past.
It's interesting because I would say at the other ones I've been to, since I am such a Hillary fan, and we have these parties with other like super Hillary fans, it's more of like yelling and screaming and chanting and tweeting. Main thing is tweeting. And here it seems pretty subdued right now, so I'm trying to like amp up the crowd. That's my goal right now, is to get people excited for her.
Yeah. Now, do you think is it different now that knowing that they're right here?
Oh my God, like I'm trying to like put that in the back of my mind because it's like gonna freak me out. Like they're literally like right there. Like that's so crazy to think about. But I think it's just an honor that UNLV gets to host the debate in like my school of all schools. Like it's really special.
The two candidates.
Now, we did see a lot of Hillary supporters at this watch party, but there were some Trump ones as well. And really, it was overall very peaceful, no arguments. Everyone was very respectful of each other. So a great debate night here at UNLV. Reporting live, Kathleen Jacob, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
Kathleen, thank you very much. Let's get back to Cindy Lundeberg now, back in the Fox 5 studios for a look at the other day's headlines. Cindy.
Yeah, John, we do have some more local news to tell you about right now. The NFL owners wrapped up their meetings today in Houston to talk about the future of the Oakland Raiders. Some of them still aren't on board with the idea of our city. Fox 5's Vince Sapienza joins us now in studio with more details on this. Vince.
Yeah, that's right, Cindy. You know, lost in the election buzz today was the conclusion of the first official pitch from Raiders owner Mark Davis to the other 31 NFL owners regarding the Raiders' move to Vegas. Now, around town, Davis has received tremendous support, but today he met some resistance.
We would love to have the Raiders stay in Oakland. We think that that's a positive thing. We've been also very clear over the last couple of years that it requires getting long-term resolution to their stadium. We still don't have that solution.
Now, but Raiders owner Mark Davis seems to be pretty clear about what he wants to do.
No, I made a commitment to the governor of Nevada when the first time we met. I looked him in the eye and I told him we're not using you for leverage for anything else. I've never used the city for leverage in these types of situations. And so if he came through, I was going to do everything I can to bring the Raiders to Las Vegas.
Now, in an earlier report, Davis told the other owners, barring an unexpected surprise, he plans to file papers to move the team from Oakland to Las Vegas in January. Now, despite Commissioner Goodell wanting to keep the Raiders in Oakland, the decision will not be in his hands. It will ultimately be the NFL owners' decision. Davis needs 24 of 32 yes votes to make that move. Cindy, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Vince. We'll definitely keep our eye on this. So right now, there is no date set for the owners to vote, and many believe it will take place within the first 6 months of next year. And to stay up to date on all the latest developments with the Raiders, be sure to check out our Fox 5 mobile app. It's free in mobile stores. And the Clark County Commission is now looking to appoint some members to the Stadium Authority Board, and this comes after Governor Brian Sandoval signed the stadium bill on Monday. The commission must appoint 3 of the 9 board members in the next 28 days. The deadline to apply is on Tuesday, November 8th by noon. Appointments will be made at the County Commission meeting the following Tuesday. The other members will be made up of 3 appointments by Governor Sandoval, 1 by UNLV President Len Jessup, and 2 public representatives selected by 7 numbers. For a complete list of the requirements and a link to the application, just head on over to our website on fox5vegas.com and click the links section. And Canadians are pretty crazy about the United States, and they want to make sure we know how they feel.
You are infectious, entertaining.
You dream big.
Your quest to be the best creates the best.
A land of opportunity where anyone can be anything they want to be.
Why our neighbors to the north are singing our praises.
And still some light north breezes for tomorrow, but a warm-up starts. 83 Las Vegas, mid-80s Pahrump and Mesquite, 81 Boulder City, 89 in Laughlin. So a warm-up that takes us through the weekend, and then some wind, a chance of showers and temperatures that are going to be right around 80 degrees. We'll give you the update on what to expect for your weekend and beyond coming up.
Great again. That, of course, is Donald Trump's slogan in this campaign. But some people think America's pretty great already, and our neighbors to the north made a commercial to tell us that.
Yes.
Hi, America.
What's up, America? Hey, guys. We're just up here in Canada talking about how great you guys are down there. And we thought we'd just send you a little bit of a love note.
We're big fans. We like you guys. We know you've got some really big decisions to make. But as you're thinking about your future, we just want you to know that
You guys are great.
you really are great. You invented the internet.
The Garden is a creative agency out of Toronto. It launched the Let's Tell America It's Great campaign. You just heard some of it, but Canadians were encouraged to send in videos of themselves telling Americans why they're already great to offer up some positivity. Thanks, Canada.
It's very nice of them. Well, the debate, of course, brought in thousands to our city and shone a spotlight on it. But some companies were a little sympathetic to what people had to go through when the circus was in town.
Yeah, one company went to Twitter to offer some relief. The company, they tweeted, "It's not an ordinary debate, so don't use just any pain relief. That's Excedrin. #debate headache." And within minutes, it had more than 1,000 likes and hundreds of retweets. Hashtag debate headache started trending on Twitter. I think a lot of people might have a debate headache.
Tomorrow morning, especially. That would be the debate hungover.
Yeah.
All right, let's head back to the Fox 5 studios. Ted Purdy with the forecast for us.
Now, Fox 5 weather 24/7 with Chief Meteorologist Ted Purdy.
No headaches weather-wise for us over the next few days. A nice warm-up with lighter breezes. We saw those gusts to 20, 25 miles out there in some locations today. Right now, drop down to around 10, 15 miles an hour. That's it. 78 degrees our high, so that cooler air did come in. 79 degrees the average high. We were actually 1 degree below where we should be for this time of the year. 70 degrees out there now with the clear skies, and also north-northeast breeze at 8 miles an hour. That's about all we're going to get, at least to McCarran tonight. Top half or north half of the Las Vegas area, we'll see those breezes closer to 10, 15 miles an hour, but clear skies everywhere and a chilly 59 degree start for tomorrow. 83 degrees, so our warm up tomorrow on your Thursday begins. That'll take us into the mid 80s on Friday, upper 80s for your Saturday, mid 80s again on Sunday. That average high 79, 78 the average high for the weekend. So we'll be 10 degrees above where we should be for this time of the year for Saturday. So here's your satellite and radar. Not much to show you the way of cloud coverage, all because of high pressure overhead that takes our temperatures warmer, gives us less of a breeze. We'll still see a little bit of a north wind tomorrow, but clear skies, what to expect for tomorrow, also your Friday, and also most of your Saturday. So take a look at your heat. Friday, Saturday, 86 degrees, 88 degrees will stay right there for your Sunday. And then those north breezes, or those southwest breezes rather, start on Sunday. Breezy at times that day, but we pick up a PM shower chance that day also. Here's what happens. That high pressure gets out of the way. Area low pressure with some moisture moves in. Models indicating a line of showers to the south and to the east of us for your late Sunday and early on Monday. So a slight chance of showers for us after a great Saturday. Chances into that Monday morning time frame. Breezy at times, though, as that system does move through. We'll get more specific with wind speeds as we get closer, but just know a slight chance of showers for your Sunday and Monday. Temperatures decrease after that little bit of a warm up into the mid-upper 80s, down to around 80 degrees for your Monday, Tuesday, and for your Wednesday. Well, let's send it back out to the Thomas and Mack. They're doing a great job out there, but I'm lonely in the studio. Here's John and Christine.
We miss you, Ted.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Don't worry.
Well, any parent you talk to say kids absorb a lot, even when you don't think they're listening. And some kids, they're not even old enough to vote, but they've absorbed some stuff and have opinions on this election.
Yeah, they've been certainly paying attention. We went to Twitchell Elementary today to find out who they would vote for in this election.
Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton. Trump. Hillary Clinton. He looks like a nice guy. I would like her to give more education for children. He's really rich and he can buy us a lot of good stuff.
He certainly can. He's worth quite a bit. So our swing state holds true with even our children. They are divided among Clinton and Trump.
Yeah, they'll be great voters come 2028.
2028. Can you imagine that?
Makes us feel old, doesn't it?
You. All right.
Well, someone who's a household name because of a debate, not this one, but the Washington University in St. Louis debate, Ken Bone and his red sweater made headlines.
He is back for presidential debate number 3 after being the star of presidential debate 2. He is in Las Vegas now. We caught up with him, and we'll tell you how Ken Bone squeezes in some fun in between his media appearances. So we are now in a 19-day sprint to the finish line on this election after Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump made their closing sales pitches to the millions of Americans watching tonight.
This was their last time on the debate stage before the general election on November 8th. Early voting, however, in Nevada starts this Saturday.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. We have to talk about a VIP who came to town tonight.
Yes, a VIP in his red sweater. We'd be remiss not to mention Mr. Ken Bone, who gained fame during the second presidential debate. He may be the biggest star out here as of now.
And he continues his stardom because he is doing he's a political analyst for Jimmy Kimmel Live, and last night he took in our city by walking the red carpet at Tao Beach at the Venetian with his fans.
Yeah,
look
take
at him.
a look. He's quite the man.
He is just living large. He's probably hoping that this election, don't let this election end.
There he is with CNN's Ryan Nobles.
Oh, yeah.
Don't go away. We're here at 11.